The Indian Association of Structural Engineers, also known as IAStructE, was conceptualized and constituted in the year 2002 by a group of senior professional structural engineers from all over the country. IAStructE is registered under the Societies Registration Act 21 of 1860. IAStructE is a national apex body of structural engineers in India with a mission to promote structural engineering profession and cater to the professional needs of the structural engineering fraternity. In the short span of 2 decades, association has attained an eminent position in the professional field. Its membership is valued very highly in the profession. Since inception, IAStructE has been led by eminent structural engineers like late Shri Mahendra Raj, late Shri Kumar Ghosh, late Shri Subhash Chand Mehrotra, Professor Mahesh Tandon, Shri Manoj Mittal, Professor R. Pradeep Kumar and Shri Alok Bhaumik as its president. IAStructE is a permanent member of Engineering Council of India and interacts with the government on professional and policy matters related to civil and structural engineers. To expand its reach, IAStructE has collaboration with various international professional like-minded associations and institutions like IAStructE, UK and FIB for strengthening global connections and professional exchange. IAStructE's prime objective is supporting and protecting the profession of structural engineering by upholding professional standards and acting as a mouthpiece for structural engineers in India. IAStructE endeavor to ensure that its members develop the necessary skill in structural engineering and work to the highest standards by maintaining a commitment to professional ethics and standards. IAStructE is actively engaged in organizing several continuing professional development (CPD) courses for structural engineers to help them update their knowledge and advance their career paths. It also conducts refresher courses for young and practicing engineers and student-oriented programs, seminars, workshops, conferences, technical lectures and discussions related to the latest technological advancements, and case studies are also organized regularly for members to enable them to continuously update their knowledge and skill set by interacting with the best minds from the industry. IAStructE's activities are widely appreciated and known for quality technical contents. IAStructE is also actively engaged in publishing its quarterly journal Structural Engineering Digest (SED), code commentaries, professional guidelines, monthly newsletter, and Crossfall, a unique quarterly newsletter that confidentially reports structural failures and the lessons learned from them. IAStructE's publications are becoming popular with time. IAStructE has representation in various technical committees of BIS and IRC as well. Its members are actively contributing to National Code of Formulations. In the year 2020, IAStructE started National Awards competition to stimulate interest in the structural engineering field and to promote innovative thinking and creativity. The awards are presented to the winners in recognition of their outstanding contribution to structural engineering in the categories which include Outstanding Structure, Outstanding Structural Engineer, Outstanding Woman Structural Engineer, Promising Young Structural Engineer, and Best Master's Thesis in Structural Engineering. Reaffirming its commitment to professional excellence, IAStructE launched the accreditation program in 2023. This flagship initiative empowers practicing engineers to evaluate their competencies, identify growth opportunities, and strengthen the foundation for sustained professional success. IAStructE is currently operating from 4 regional centers, namely Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern, having its headquarters in Delhi to inculcate the professional culture and provide hand-holding to the budding engineers. Joining IAStructE offers exclusive resources, mentorship, and networking with industry leaders. Members enjoy discounted registration for workshops, seminars, and events, along with discounted membership of FIB, opportunities for certification, career guidance, leadership roles, and enhanced professional recognition. IAStructE has its student chapters in several leading engineering institutions as well. Membership of IAStructE is open to all civil and structural engineers engaged in structural engineering profession. Members are elected based on their qualifications and experience in different grades as per eligibility requirements prescribed in the bylaws. Each application is carefully scrutinized before electing the members. More information about IAStructE is available on its website www.iastructe.co.in.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone. As you are aware, all of you are aware that we do the continuous program for the improvement in the engineering. And in that series, now today, we are keeping a program on the Prota software. I invite Mr. James Empere, Regional Channel Manager, Prota Software, to introduce the team and further presentation on this very important software. Over to you, Mr. James Empere.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sadeep Patiwar. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for all the members of the Indian Association of Structural Engineers for joining us and joining also our local partners, KHAAS. I will introduce a brief introduction of the program and the people that are joining us today. Okay. So, firstly, I would like to introduce Mr. Akbar Ali Kadar. He's the CEO and director of KHAAS Group. He's our Proto software partner in India. I also would like to introduce the presenter and who's going to be joining us and taking us through this journey. And this is engineer Mustafa Tumertan. He is the product manager at the Proto software and also software architect. He has spent over 40 years developing initiative structural engineering software solutions that bridge technology and engineering. He holds a master's degree in earthquake engineering from the Middle East Technical University, specialized in seismic strengthening and nonlinear performance analysis. And he also shared his passion for structural engineering as an instructor in METU Architectural Department for 11 years. And I'm the regional channel manager for Prota Software. So first thing, we're going to just go through these 5 points very quick, and then we're going to have the demonstration. It's going to be the last point, but we'll see what Prota Software is, our product overview, what we offer, core advantages, project references, and lastly, the demo or the presentation on how we're focusing on this market. Okay. Now you will notice that ProtaStructure Suite is composed of it's just one software that within it has 4 different softwares. Okay. We differentiate ourselves by integrating modeling, analysis, design, detailing, fabrication, and BIM process seamlessly, allowing you to integrate the whole process in a single solution. This allows our users to rapidly deliver projects by using a single software, hence the reason we refer to ProtaStructure as an all-in-one solution. ProtaStructure Suite consists of 4 different modules, and you can we provide them in a single package if needed. We have ProtaStructure, which is the core system for modeling, analysis, design of your structures. It is complemented with other tools like Prota Details it's a complete CAD system for automated detailing and drawings. It focuses on concrete detailing. It includes a unique design library of calculations for design of things such as retaining walls and piles. Prota Steel complements steel design by automating all the steelwork connections design. providing a comprehensive steel detailing and automatic connection design of our structures. Important note, we provide drawings, calculation reports within ProtaSteel as well. And finally, ProtaBIM allows you to connect with other tools and systems that you may be using, allowing you to collaborate better with team members. ProtaBIM allows the team to communicate with other BIM platforms, solutions like Allplan through IFCs, or Arcadia through SAF, and other, even share analytical data with SAP or ETAPS, okay?
Just
For
a,
over
just
40,
a minute, I think I will request all the participants who have any questions, please drop the message on a question and answer so that after the end of the presentation, we can take them. Sorry, please continue, Mr. Jain.
no problem.
Yeah.
For more than 40 years, we have been expanding our reach around the world, covering over 25 international design codes, 10 languages such as Polish, Spanish, Portuguese, Thai, and English. And we've also been busy creating design guides and insights into how the software, for example, how to use the software. For example, many of our users benefit from technical guides for them to be able to do things such as the guidance in punching shear checks, foundation design, and so forth. At this point, we have licensed users in over 40 countries around the world. Okay. Through this map, you can see the overview of our footprint. We're present all the way from South Africa, South America, Europe, India, and so forth. You could see some of the points where we actually have offices on. To take you a bit through the history, I want to summarize the milestones of Prota Software's journey throughout the years. Some of you might actually know us from back in 1992 as Prota launched Probina Orion. It was the world's first concrete building design detailing system. In 2025, Probina Orion had provided the first ever retrofit solution provided the first solution ever for retrofit and rehabilitation. And in 2007, Prota invested in BIM technology and launched ProtaBIM, which, as I mentioned, is a bidirectional physical model integration tool. In 2024, we introduced our unique ProtaStructure Suite. In 2018, the Prota team delivered the world's largest passenger terminal building. The structural design of this project was delivered with ProtaStructure Suite. If you would like to read more about this, feel free to visit our webpage. We have many other success stories that we've published. And in 2025, we stand having spearheaded software in 45 countries and continue to grow our user base. Now, as you know, there are several software solutions that offer various services. Our core advantage is that ProtaSuite offers important features in a single suite. So we can confidently say that Prota is a software that it streamlines the modeling. It also a software that can design steel connections, concrete, a CAD software that can also efficiently draft and dedicate a CAD software for dedicated structural drafting, producing all your engineering drawings with component designs and other parts of the fabrication. It's a fabrication software as well, okay? And it is also a structural BIM software. So what we've done, instead of you having to go through many different solutions for your modeling and having one solution for modeling, another solution for design, another solution for components, another for detailing, fabrication, and so forth, we're able to bring all of these solutions under one umbrella under ProtaStructure Suite. And that's what we, as I said, refer to this as an all-in-one software. ProtaStructure Suite is developed with BIM in mind. It was always developed with BIM in mind. So here's a slide where you can see better the entire BIM flow of our software solution. Remember that all these solutions are offered in a single economical suite called ProtaStructure Enterprise. Okay, so you can use Prota Details, the revolutionary structural drawing detailing software to automatically create and organize all your RC drawings. Then you could take the model design of ProtaStructure directly into ProtaSteel and save hours with automated design of a comprehensive range of bolted and welded connections of your choice. You can directly link your model to BIM platforms and software solutions like Autodesk, Revit, Allplan, and many others focused on formats including IFC, 2D, 3D, DXF, and SAF. You can transfer and compare your analytical model with other general purpose analysis software such as ETABS or SAP 2000. And you can also create and share highly visual calculation reports featuring Microsoft Office or PDF export as well. Product excellence is necessary in our sector, and it is also the key to our success in ProtaStructure is being used by thousands of large enterprises all around the world. If you may have heard of some of them, worth mentioning like AECOM, Sunway, Arup, WSP, Jacobs, L&T Construction as well. These organizations have been using the product to deliver their engineering projects for many years. As I mentioned earlier, ProtaStructure was used in modeling and designing of the biggest passenger terminal building in the world, located in Istanbul, covering 1.5 million square feet. And General Manager Mr. Umit has made a statement attributing the added success to ProtaStructure's ability to perform project variations quickly, economically, and accurately. If I may continue with a few other real-life project examples, ProtaStructure has this is the largest university campus project in Istanbul that was also delivered by ProtaStructure. There are over 50 buildings within this campus covering over 1 million square meters of construction. Also, the King's Palace, situated in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, it stands as the government's most significant investment. The project was delivered by KHAAS Pakat, one of our esteemed clients from Asia. As per the executive director, ProtaStructure has revolutionized their productivity, leading to a remarkable 300% increase compared to traditional methods. Thanks to ProtaStructures, they have expanded their workload and become more financially profitable and competitive. Again, our clients, TWT Design Consultants, have delivered projects across Asia, as you could see here, some examples, and not just across Asia, but across many parts of the world, including Europe, such as the Stage Building or Camel Street. Let's also keep in mind that several hospitals were also designed with ProtaSuite. One worthy note that these hospitals are also seismically retrofitted buildings. With ProtaStructure Suite's unique capabilities, you can insert seismic insulators into your buildings too. And as you can see, in foreign international airports across Russia, Kosovo, Egypt, and Turkey, as well as different types of projects combining both RC and steel, stadium roofs, and so forth. In addition, we also pride ourselves in having an excellent help center and an excellent technical support. It's not just about offering a software, but it's also about having all of that support and data and information ready to be able to handle the customer and assist them in all their doubts, whether it's through our website, whether it's through blogs that we have prepared, or also our YouTube channel, okay? I don't want to take too long with this because I know we have time that we need to cover. I'm sharing here a little bit of information when it comes to social media and also how you can purchase Prota. If you're in India, the best way is through our partner KHAAS group, that they will mention that to you in just a little bit. But for now, let's just go ahead and see a ProtaStructure Suite in action. Actually, what we're going to see is a presentation focused on the Indian market. So I hand it over to you, Engineer Mustafa Tan.
Thank you, Jaime, for this perfect presentation. It was really exciting. So let me share the screen for you.
We can see your screen.
Okay, and the presentation cover?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
the presentation is it.
Great. So hello, everyone. It's a privilege for me to be with you. Thank you for the invitation. And it's an honor to present to fellow Indian engineers. And thank you, IAStructE, for this fantastic event. So welcome to our webinar on ProtaStructure, where we will talk about our support for IAS standards and highlights in ProtaStructure 2026. We are sure that these powerful features of ProtaStructure will bring amazing success to the engineers in India. And I am Mustafa Tan. I am product manager for ProtaStructure, and I have been a part of Prota team for more than 20 years now. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into some details about how we support Indian market, Indian engineering community with ProtaStructure. So when you start ProtaStructure, all country and code related settings are automatically adjusted when you start your project using the template. And we have specifically created a template for India where you will find all the best settings and the codes automatically selected for you. And also we support a wide range of international and international RC design, steel design, and wind and seismic codes. And we support IS 456 for reinforced concrete design, IS 800 for steel design, IS 875 for loading and wind loads, and IS 1893 and IS 13920 for seismic forces and ductile design. In ProtaStructure, load combinations are generated automatically using interactive wizard. You can choose options for vertical and lateral load cases, such as pattern loading, construction stage, P-delta effects, response spectrum analysis or equivalent static analysis, or even vertical earthquake analysis. And all the combinations and all the load cases will be automatically created by ProtaStructure by honoring the selected design and seismic codes. So we are also creating the ultimate limit state and serviceability limit state combinations for reinforced concrete and steel as well. One item to note here is the 2025 version of IS 1893. We know that it has been published in India and you have a transition period of 3 months. So this is also a work in progress and we are hoping to release it to you soon. Okay, and wind loads are calculated in ProtaStructure according to IS 875 Indian wind loading code. When you launch the wind load generator and specify the necessary parameters, such as basing wind speed, minimum wind pressure, directionality factor, structure type, and terrain category, all the wind forces acting on the story levels will be automatically calculated. Besides, you can also import wind loads from an Excel spreadsheet. So let's say you have a wind turbine analysis and you get the results from that detailed wind turbine analysis. And if you have that results in an Excel format, you can import it into ProtaStructure and apply to the story levels as well. But wind loads is an important topic in Indian standards, and we had a lot of requests about it, especially about the dynamic wind loads. That's the part 3 in IS 875. We have implemented that as a part of the release in ProtaStructure 2026. We are now supporting the empirical natural period calculation. We can calculate the dynamic response factor now, including also the vertex shedding frequency and the resonance risk check. These are all part of the wind load report in ProtaStructure. However, aeroelastic instabilities such as flutter or galloping effect or component-specific oscillations are not in this scope. We must emphasize that. And ProtaStructure has a very comprehensive user interface for calculating the acceleration spectra using the parameters outlined in IS 1893. You can select a town in India and related seismic zone and seismic zone factors will be fetched automatically. We provide you with the helper tables taken from the code with relevant references, so you are not lost in the code. You can select different structural systems in each orthogonal direction to make use of different behavior factors and, of course, different design spectra. And also, IS 1893 requires different ascending portion for the spectral curve. These are all detailed analysis settings. But after that, seismic analysis is not complete unless you perform irregularity checks. All the analysis is done according to this elastic and design spectrum calculated in the previous step, but the post-analysis report, for example, includes all the important checks related to IS 1893 with code references. For example, a drift-based soft story check is done, a vertical mass distribution is checked, torsional irregularity is checked, and analysis is automatically repeated with additional eccentricities if a certain penalty is required. And also, applicability of the equivalent static method is also checked. If you have a building with basement, the basement validation is done, comparing the upper structure period to the whole structure. Inter-story drifts are done, and the prominence of second-order effects is checked. If you have a basement, a two-stage analysis is performed for these kind of buildings, which allows you to use different mass sources for basement and the upper superstructure. And additionally, response spectrum analysis and equivalent static comparison is done, and also cumulative model mass participation are checked and reported in this report. And for the buildings with transfer columns, large slab openings or beam spans, large cantilevers or slanting columns, the approximate static vertical earthquake calculation may not be sufficient. Besides, the seismic codes require the use of model vertical earthquake calculations in these kind of extreme scenarios. For example, Eurocode only allows the use of model vertical earthquake analysis. For this purpose, we first introduced the vertical acceleration spectrum in ProtaStructure that's accessible in the seismic parameters window. And vertical spectrum is also reported in the pre-analysis report. Secondly, we automatically calculate the vertical mass distribution. In other words, the vertical mass matrix. Slabs should be meshed to be able to consider the mass distribution accurately. We will then automatically calculate the vertical vibration modes. This is very different than the lateral vibration modes, and the number of modes can be customized by the user. And the heart of this analysis is a mode superposition analysis in vertical direction, not lateral, but vertical direction. And the results are obtained in absolute terms with dominant mode size. Okay. And after the analysis, lateral and vertical earthquake analysis, ProtaStructure will continue with the member design. So for the beams, we support the ductile design and detailing of the beams. So we detect automatically the confinement zones. We perform the capacity shear design and plastic design for the members. And of course, the entire bending design is done under an envelope, including the seismic forces. And complementing the reinforced concrete beam design is a detailed step-by-step beam design report. And of course, providing a transparent design documentation is a #1 priority for us. We have been investing a lot of time to fulfill this. And the RC design reports in ProtaStructure now include more details, step-by-step calculations, formulations, and code references. And when it comes to columns and the shear walls, ProtaStructure is also capable of doing ductile design and non-ductile design, of course, for non-seismic areas. And first of all, we support the true biaxial bending for columns. And again, we do the capacity design for the seismic scenarios. And the column section is automatically contained with single link, double link, diamond links, or tie bars. These are all in the software. And what we do is we automatically detect the minimum reinforcement ratios and constructive rules. Confinement zone lengths are automatically determined, and links are designed in span and support regions. Links inside the column sections are automatically laid out, considering the confinement requirements. And when it comes to the walls, a crucial part of the shear wall design is the boundary elements or end zones. And it's a very challenging task in the shear walls. And different codes suggest different methodologies and approaches. In ProtaStructure, you cannot automatically lay out end zones by using a percentage of related wall length or by just specifying a distance. End zones of the core walls with known shapes such as E, C, L, T, or H can be laid out automatically using the polyline column editor. And for random shapes, full automation may not be always possible, but we have developed tools to make it as easy as possible for you to insert the end zone rebars. We have an interactive polyline wall editor that you can specify the end zones yourself if you like, and put the rebars in the web regions and the end zone regions. And for an effective column detailing, ProtaStructure offers comprehensive options to cover a wide range of constructability and code scenarios. Among these are the optional lap splices in the column mid-height. So there's a setting in ProtaStructure that will allow you to lap splice the longitudinal bars in the middle of the column or at the story levels. Also, bob anchorage options are possible. The links in the joints can be customized, etc. We have very comprehensive options for column detailing. Sorry. And also we support different shear wall horizontal web bar layout options for ductile detailing. And when we observe the damage in earthquake regions after severe earthquakes, most of the damage in the shear walls are either the shear failures, shear cracks, or the damages in the end zones. So under the extreme loads, the end zones of the shear walls are in compression, and the longitudinal bars are just breaking the concrete and popping out of the section in the end zones. So to prevent this, actually we have a couple of options to anchor the web bars, horizontal web bars, into the end zones. So you see those in the screen. And also ProtaStructure has a concept of critical wall regions. So in the plastic region of the walls, where you can specify it, by the way, the end zones are larger, and outside the critical length, the end zones can be smaller. So these are all available in ProtaStructure. And of course, we support all this design and detailing with step-by-step reinforced concrete design report. And one of the most important checks to ensure a ductile behavior is the strong column and joint shear checks. And this is done in accordance with IAS 13920. So what we do, after you design the structure, you must put the reinforcements in the columns and the beams for this one. And after that, ProtaStructure will check the capacities of the beams and columns to make sure that the columns are stronger than the beams and the joints do not fail under the shear to prevent a brittle failure. So these are all done with detailed reports in accordance with the IS 13920. And we have a visual interrogation tool that you can see the failure status or the success status with color codes, etc. By the way, this is one of the most challenging part of a design, especially if you are designing a frame structure without using any shear walls. This may be one of the toughest checks to fulfill. And lastly, we do have a steel design functionality. Of course, we support IS 800s for steel design, and we have detailed step-by-step reports for the steel design as well. Okay. An important aspect of ProtaStructure is the performance-based design, assessment, and retrofit. So why is it important for the engineers in India? Because we have received requests about IS 16700, which is for high-rise structures. Actually, we have a similar concept in Turkey as well, or the Turkish seismic code has a dedicated chapter for the high-rise structures. So in the highly seismic areas. So the capacity design principles are not usually applicable or sufficient for the high rises, because you have to verify or check the additional performance criteria under different earthquake levels. So, for example, for an earthquake of return periods 475 years, it's our design earthquake. The capacity design principles, may be applicable for a regular structure. And when we apply those principles, usually we say that this design is successful. But for special structures like high rises, you have to satisfy additional performances, like, for example, an immediate occupancy performance level under design earthquake, and the life safety performance under a severe earthquake with 2% probability of exceedance in 100 years. So to emphasize, IS 16700 is not specifically supported in ProtaStructure, but we have very powerful tools for assessment and performance-based design. So we support single mode pushover analysis, multi-mode pushover analysis, nonlinear time history analysis, to perform all these analysis types. And we can prepare a member-by-member assessment report according to ASC 41 and Eurocode 8. So by using these tools in combination with IS 1893, you will find opportunity to design the high-rise structures in India, at least find some insight about the behavior of these structures. So let's get a feeling and what a pushover or time history analysis looks like. So after you perform the pushover analysis, you can visualize the result in ProtaStructure, the plastic hinge mechanism, step by step. And of course, we perform the pushover and time history analysis by using our OpenSeas integration. We prepare all the data for OpenSeas automatically. You don't have to do anything. And we run the OpenSeas automatically under the hood, and we collect the result, we post-process the result, and visualize it for you, and turn it into a member-by-member assessment report. So this is time history results for a typical structure. So you see, again, the plastic hinge mechanism and the ground shaking. And of course, you can override the plastic hinge performance limits so that you can colorize the damaged regions. Okay, and the multi-mode pushover analysis is also a very important addition in ProtaStructure, because single mode pushover analysis is restricted to the relatively regular buildings with small torsional irregularity and higher module mass participation. And then usually it's applicable for low to mid-rise structures. But for the buildings suffering from the higher mode effects or irregularities, single mode approach will not be sufficient. In these cases, the nonlinear time history analysis is used. But this nonlinear time history analysis is computationally very demanding, considering the number of accelerograms used, acceleration time steps, material nonlinearity, and convergence conditions. Knowing these facts, a middle ground between the single mode pushover and the full nonlinear time history analysis is the multi-mode pushover. In ProtaStructure 2026, we have adopted the Chopra model pushover methodology. In simple terms, what we do is we perform pushover analysis for each mode and we combine their results. That's the theory under the Chopra's multi-mode pushover. And after the results are obtained, a detailed assessment report is also generated. Okay, and a very important feature in ProtaStructure is the nonlinear seismic isolators. The designing buildings with seismic isolators is a really different expertise, a very special field of earthquake engineering. And we have redesigned the workflow for the seismic isolators in ProtaStructure. You can, first of all, you can now define the isolators with the help of a library. And you will be also able to specify the nonlinear parameters for the isolators. And what is beautiful about it is by this way, you will now be able to perform a time history analysis which will consider the nonlinear parameters of the isolators. So as you know, isolators, seismic isolators are also nonlinear, and they have specific damping characteristics, usually starting from 25% damping. So in the seismic isolation, we concentrate the damping and the displacement to the isolator level. And the aim of the isolation is to elongate the period of the structure and to limit the deformation in the isolation level so that the upper structure behaves like a rigid body, or it will behave within the elastic limits. And an important part of the isolation design is the nonlinear time history analysis, where you will, after the final design, after you select the isolator units, decide on the isolator units, you will do a nonlinear time history to double check the displacement, the acceleration response history and displacement response history, to check the design requirements under DBE and MC earthquakes. So, and this nonlinear time history analysis is a special analysis where all the nonlinearity is concentrated on the isolators, and the rest of the model is linear elastic. So that's what we want to achieve, actually. Anyway, so let's briefly talk about the highlights in ProtaStructure 2026. This is our new RC stairs module, and what's really cool about is it lets you interactively model the reinforced concrete stairs. I mean, we are talking about really smooth integration directly into the building model. And we have even included a whole library of frequently used stair types to make things easy for you. And When it comes to the loads, you can simply apply the uniform area loads on the stairs, and well, in any load case you need. And also the new stairs module supports the 3D reinforcement. You can visualize them, and all the detailed drawings are based on the 3D reinforcement. And the magic part here is all the stairs are automatically integrated in the analysis model. They come with a compatible mesh, and all the right boundary conditions are already set up. So it's pretty much ready to go. And next up, we have been hard at work developing a comprehensive parametric macro specifically for inserting base plates under steel columns. And the best part is you can actually visualize them instantly in plan and 3D views. Now we already have some very great base plate features in ProtaSteel, but in ProtaSteel there is no design for base plates. But with ProtaStructure 2026, now we are taking it to the next level, and we are now able to design the base plates in ProtaStructure. It includes the weld checks, concrete anchored checks, etc. All the design checks are done in ProtaStructure, and it fully supports the ACI 318, AIST 360, and AIST design guides, Eurocodes, and other international codes as well. Okay, so far so good. Moving on, and we have introduced a new feature in ProtaStructure 2026 called the sub-basement walls and slabs. And the sub-basement walls are typically part of the foundation, and they do a double duty, supporting the infill on the ground story while also containing the fill within the foundation itself. In the past, sub-basement walls was tricky in ProtaStructure. Modeling was not straightforward. But with the new version, we have now a dedicated sub-basement wall type that you can directly model as a part of the foundation. And you can include them in the analysis, and it will give you more accurate and comprehensive results, by the way. And in addition to that, you can put the sub-basement slabs on top of these walls as well. Okay. And a major new capability in ProtaStructure is the design of doubly symmetric cruciform columns. And this is not about adding a new shape, but it's about giving you the compliance for the design of these columns to Indian codes as well, including other American and Euro codes as well. And it will give you substantial benefits to make use of these cruciform columns in ProtaStructure. And let's shift our focus to another fantastic enhancement in the new version. That's a powerful feature that really simplifies the design and analysis of concrete pedestals under the steel columns. You can now seamlessly insert these pedestals and define their dimensions effortlessly and integrate them into your structural models. The smart part of this is when you insert a base plate under the steel column, the base plate will automatically recognize these RC pedestals and will perform all the checks. And if you use, when you use the finite element analysis, these pedestals are automatically included in the finite element analysis model, and you will get internal forces analysis results for the pedestals so that you can design their longitudinal reinforcement and links. So it's a really great feature in ProtaStructure. Okay, let's dive into another really powerful feature, which is the multiple user-defined spectra in all directions. you are now able to define the different spectrum curves in X, Y, and Z directions. This will give you a great deal of flexibility and precision. And if you pay attention, the user experience and the user interface is redesigned and streamlined so that you will make use of it very effortlessly again. Another important feature is that when you define your custom end user-defined spectrum curves, you can now compare this to the code spectra on the same graph. That's another feature. And beyond the deflection check, we have introduced the crack with checks that's compatible to IS 456. And not only the Indian standards, but American standards and other international design codes are also supported with crack with checks. And a very specific check that we have done for the IS code is the load transfer check from column to the footing. It's the clause number 34.4. It verifies the load transfer from the loaded column to the column area of the footing. Okay, and about the punching shear checks, that's also an important part of the ProtaStructure. You can now perform the punching check by directly using the finite elements analysis results according to IS 456. What we do, we leverage the V1 and V2, the out-of-plane shear forces in the slabs. And what we do, we calculate these out-of-plane shears along the punching perimeter, and we find the maximum value. And we check the concrete strength, whether this punching shear is resisted or not. So we do this for Indian standards and American standards with a detailed report. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the BIM integration. So as you know, we had introduced the IAStructE export feature in our previous versions, and it received great feedback from our users. But in the previous version, we were able to only transfer the geometry. But with the new version, we enhanced it so that you can export the internal forces. So suppose that you have 5 members connecting into a joint, and you have 40 combinations. So you have 200 results, and you have to identify which member is connecting to the node from its J end or I end. It's a very tough job by trying to do it by hand. Okay, but what we did, we automatically understand the connecting members. We can understand which end of the member is connected, I end or J end. And of course, we know the combination results. And we create an Excel for this purpose automatically. And all you have to do is copy the Excel table and paste it into IAStructE. And all of a sudden, you will have the internal forces, because we know the ID of the members as well. So the internal forces will be automatically matched to the correct members in IAStructE. Anyway, so in ProtaStructure 2026, we now support the IFC4 industry foundation classes. And IFC4 plays a crucial role in the industry because it enhances the data interoperability and the standardization. It addresses the many limitations, actually, of its predecessor, IFC 2.3. And IFC4 supports more complex geometries, such as B-spline surfaces and curves. So now ProtaStructure supports the latest version of the IFC as well. Okay, one important feature in Proto Details is the section view from the building. So it will help you better visualize your building model's section cuts. It works similar to the good old section command. That's you need to have a floor plan drawn on the arena, as you see on the screen. All you have to do is select the building section command, cut a section, and you will see the building section in its entirety on the screen. So if you have stairs, it will be included in the section. If you have infill walls, all the infill walls will be again drawn on the section as well. It's customizable. Okay, let's briefly talk about ProtaSteel. We also have new macros and new features in ProtaSteel as well. And we now introduce the end place splice macro for the splice connection details for pipe and rectangular section profiles. What makes this feature powerful is the level of control it provides, just like the other macros. Within the macro properties window, you can easily adjust the number of bolts and their specific arrangements, etc. And the fin plate macro that's used to create beam to beam and beam to column hinge connections now supports the main profiles made of hollow sections, including the square hollow or rectangular hollows. And in ProtaSteel 2026, truss to truss and truss to column connections are now supported by beam to beam and beam to column connections, like regular connections. In the previous versions, all the beam to beam and beam to column connections were only applicable to the primary members, like primary beams or columns. And truss top chords and bottom chords were not able to be connected with these connections. But with this new version, you can now connect the truss top and bottom chords using these regular beam to beam and beam to column connections as well. Okay, and finally, ProtaSteel comes with IFC4 support as well. And all the detailing objects and the entire model created in ProtaSteel can be exported to the IFC file. Okay, and finally, I want to briefly talk about the requests and the roadmap for the ProtaStructure related to the Indian standards. So we had requests about wind dynamic effects, clause 9, part 3, that's already done in ProtaStructure. And we know that now we are dealing with a new version of IAS 1893 2025. This is work in progress, and we are hoping to release it for this existing version. You will not need to wait for the next major version for it. Another pain point for you was the IS 16700, especially if you are dealing with high-rise structures. We do not have the direct support for it, but principally we have all the tools, and you can use the time history pushover and multi-mode pushover, and you can use the member assessment reports to at least get a hold of your structure's performance within ProtaStructure. And for the roadmap for the next version, we are working on axis independent modeling. You will in the next version, you will not have to use the axis anymore. Of course, you can still continue using them, but the members will not be tightly related to the axis. We are working on timber and cold form design. We are working on automated steel design. You will simply specify a bunch of profiles, a family of profiles, and ProtaStructure will select the convenient profile automatically. And of course, we have minor requests and improvements in our backlog that's reported by our users, by our partner. And these improvements and requests are ongoing. We are always developing for this. We are always fixing this and releasing with our maintenance versions, which are free of charge. Okay, thank you. This concludes my presentation today. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. Again, ProtaStructure is packed full of features, which is impossible to talk about in a very short time. So we are creating detailed documents and presentations as best as we can to communicate this to you. And stay tuned with us for upcoming events and upcoming releases. So thank you all for participating. Thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting me. So I'll hand over to our partner to conclude the event. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mustafa. It was a great presentation by you. So, yeah, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So thank you so much. Good evening, all. So this side Akbar Ali Khadar from KHAAS Group. So CEO and Director of KHAAS Group actually. So before getting into this, I would like to thank you for giving opportunity to IAStructE. I'm also member of IAStructE. So IAStructE is doing a wonderful thing that in terms of the dedicated webinar, the events for where the civil and structural engineers will get more idea and information about the technical thing. All right. So thank you so much, and thank you, Pruta, for giving this, like a time and giving. I know that is a year end, so I believe that everyone is a busy schedule, and thank you so much for all the participants because since the weekend and the year end, everyone will be very scheduled in this, and thank you for being in this presentation. So I'm not going to take much time. I will take just 2 to 3 minutes. I will just wind up. So Uh, with a little discussion about what we are doing and how we can support our users and the customers. So our mission is something like how we can support and in terms of the problem solving and the solution providing to our customers and the users, and the vision how like we are being a strong in the global sectors. So as of now we are strong in India and UAE. By this Jan 2026 we will be registering and stepping into the UAE location as well, and we already there in KSA region, Saudi Arabia region. So the point next is like about so we come to understand before starting the divisions of the software solution and supporting a structural engineers, that we list out the points like what are the challenges facing by the structural engineers and the structural consultant. And we come to understand some list of the points like when they are quoting the project, it's very low due to the competitions, and they required a multi-license for the each to complete a one single building. They need a multiple license, and each time we have to constant training that and having a great coordination of design and detailing, and then understanding each different software in the industry, and the team retention. And also the great thing is a support system, that how support system, for example, today I'm working on a project and my license is not working and I don't know how to proceed further, so I'm in struck, I need immediate support. So in that times I cannot expert and ask my customers to wait for 2 days or 1 week or something. So how dedicatedly we can support our customers. And also very important that everyone is looking for quick delivery. So no one is giving a time to complete a project like 10 days or 15 days. How fast we are delivering the drawings. So, for the construction activities. So yeah, so solution, how we can do with the ProtaStructure solution. We before coming and signing up the registration and association with the Prota suite, we think and twice and we understand what are the list of solutions available in the industry. And we by like a proud and we can say that we have chosen ProtaStructure suite as a the comprehensive solutions for the all the structural engineers, where as Jamie and Mustafa explained that everything in one applications, easy to learn. We have a dedicated live videos recorded in the website, and also we have a free available documents, the guides to understand how to use. So yes, you can do the quick delivery, and we are supporting our users by WhatsApp, phone, and email. So while discussing about this, we can proudly say that these are the list of the users we are, yeah, so far in India. So many, in you can see the list of even I can say the L&D is using our product. Dr. Chandrasekhar Pradesai using our product, and Mr. Prasad is using. So many Indian consultants start using our product. So I just believe that many structural engineer focusing on the productivity tool rather we are also not focusing here to replace any applications. So we are here to replace and support our customer where they can increase their productivity and they can do the quick delivery. Okay. So before ending the sessions, I would like to hand over to Mustafa, and we can clarify a Q&A sessions in a moment, and then we can wind up.
Okay, thank you for the closing presentation. So I guess we have questions to answer, right?
A couple.
So I have questions in the chat panel and the questions panel as well. So about the dual system in ProtaStructure, I already answered in the chat panel, but we have to check the shear base shear participation from the walls and the base shear participation from the frames. We have a dedicated table in the post-analysis check report that you can see the proportions or the ratio that carried by the walls and ratio of the shear force carried by the frames. And regarding the cold form steel beams, that's under progress. We are aiming to release the cold form design with the next version. And a question about the twin towers on a single foundation, how it is achieved. First of all, you can model the twin towers in the same model in ProtaStructure. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. ProtaStructure will automatically detect the separate diaphragms and apply the seismic loads on these separate diaphragms. But the problem is about the irregularity checks. ProtaStructure will perform the irregularity checks as if these two towers are a single floor plan. But that shouldn't be the case. What you can do, you can model these towers separately and combine them in the third model for a common foundation and the podium. We have a merged foundation. We have merged block options, so you can import the different blocks into a new model, and you can continue from there. Okay. How are the water loads added to the walls? We have a interactive load editor. You can apply span loads or distributed loads on the walls. That's one way. And we have a dedicated wizard that will calculate the soil thrust or hydrostatic loads automatically. And you can calculate and apply these soil and water loads by the wizard and apply it to the walls. By the way, it automatically applies it. The method for adding construction sequence loads. We have a construction stage analysis, or construction stage analysis considers different floors as different construction sequences. So what we do, you define the groups. Say, for example, 2 floors can be one sequence, or each floor can be in a separate sequence. And when you perform the construction stage analysis, ProtaStructure will, and you will specify the duration between the sequences, say 15 days. Okay, ProtaStructure will modify the modulus, Young's modulus, to reflect that 15 days. It will scale it down by looking at the 28-day modulus and compressive strength. And also we can consider the shrinkage strains in the construction stage. And how can the transfer beams be designed with special load combinations? In in ProtaStructure, you cannot select, for example, if you have 40 combinations, you cannot just say design a beam for the 20 of them. If you have 40 combinations, ULS combinations, ProtaStructure will use 40 of them to design the members. The question is, how are foundation design modules available? Can the software design combined footings? Regarding foundations, we have pad footing, strip footing, pad foundation, raft foundations, and pile foundations. If you want, if the columns are very near to each other, like the columns around the construction joint, you can group those columns, and you can assign a pad footing to the grouped columns. However, as you know, the pad footing design methodology assumes a rigid pad footing. So if the columns are separate from each other, so that rigidity is not applicable anymore, you cannot use that functionality. If you have combined footings, I recommend using the finite element raft foundation module for that one. How does ProtaStructure internally handle rigid diaphragm assumptions for slabs? How can we control the diaphragm behavior in irregular buildings? So there are three options in ProtaStructure. One of the options is no rigid diaphragm. That's obvious. And the other options is fully rigid diaphragm in the entire floor. That's also obvious. When you select that option, ProtaStructure will assume a rigid diaphragm on the entire floor plan, regardless of the irregularities. But there's a third option, which is smart. When you select that option, which is the decide yourself, so ProtaStructure will check the continuity of the slabs, whether they are separate from each other or whether they are stepping or etc. ProtaStructure will automatically create multiple diaphragms, or how to say, the free nodes that are not connected to any diaphragm. So this is the third option. These separate diaphragms would still be rigid diaphragms, by the way. But if you want to use a flexible diaphragm, that's also possible. All you have to do is mesh the floor. If, for example, if you have a diaphragm irregularity, like a large gallery opening or an L-shaped floor plan, you can just mesh the story, and you can just how to say, disable the diaphragm, rigid diaphragm, and now ProtaStructure will use the in-plane stiffness of the slab mesh and all other beams, all the connecting members, to simulate the flexible diaphragm behavior. Does this, yeah, there is another question, but I think we have run out of time. Yeah, please.
I just want to ask only one or two questions. I think it was a great presentation, and I think it was very detailed in the sense that everything was covered from creep, shrinkage, wind, how it has to be considered. And in future, if there is a one session which we can keep it, including that one case study where it is all done, that will be great. I think most of the people will have a more queries about that in actual design. But I just want to understand, when you are any modeling and all those things is being done, and then suppose the stiffness changes with respect to the crack section and crack properties, and then redistribution take place. So does it take care in model the revised property of the crack section and properties, and then it does it? How it is done?
Okay, thank you. There was a problem in the, I think, in the internet connection. So as far as I understood your question, ProtaStructure has a crack section property table that you can specify the crack section properties for hello?
Members. Yeah, we can
he's back
hear
now.
you.
Okay, so we have a crack section properties table that you can specify the effective stiffness for member groups like beams, columns, slabs, shear walls, etc. And not only that, you can specify the crack section properties for different degrees of freedom. For example, for slabs, you can specify the stiffness for in plane and out of plane separately, and for walls also as well. And one important point is that ProtaStructure can use these crack section properties in the earthquake analysis only. For example, if you have gravity combinations, as say 1.4 G plus 1.6 Q, no seismic, only gravity. ProtaStructure will use a non-cracked section property if you select that way. And for the seismic combination, say we have G plus Q plus E. And in that combination, the seismic load case will use the crack section properties, but also the vertical load case, G and Q, will also use the crack section properties. These are all optional. This was a very distinct feature in Turkish seismic code. And we can do that. So that means in the same analysis run, we can use different stiffness matrices at the same time for cracked and uncracked section properties. I hope this answered.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your clarification, and that will be great. That was a great presentation. I think we wish that more such studies and cases, if we can include in the next year, and that will be great. Thank you. Thank you very much to all, and it was a nice presentation. Wish you happy Christmas to everyone. Happy Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Happy Christmas and advance Happy New Year to all.
Yeah, same
Thank
to
you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.